Hello, in this video I'm going to do a little bit more complex clip editing. I need to blend the back kick into the last frame of the idle. Okay, so if I were to butt them up together, you can see that here's the idle, and then the character then shifts back, does the kick, and then he winds up in a different place. So I'm going to try to remedy all that. Piece of cake. So I think what I'll do is maybe trim off just a frame there. Just delete that. Okay, this one. Okay, so then I'm going to trim this. Get rid of that. So I can do a lot of trimming and then editing. So my objective here is to, and I want to keep a copy of this idle, so I'm going to copy and paste it. All right. I'm just going to move this over here for safekeeping because I am going to probably do some destruction with this one. Okay, so the goal, I'm going to blend these together. And I need so if I play this idle and then I go past it, it's going to retain that last key. So here I'm going to make a pose. Okay, so I'm going to blend in and out of the idle and then end up at the first and last frame of the idle. Okay, so here's the last frame. If I keep going, it just holds that frame. So let's select this, and I use this all the time. I'm going to create a pose clip from the selection. Comes up as a little purple icon here. And put that away for safekeeping. So now we can better see what I've got ahead of myself. So the idle blends into the kick, and then I need it to blend back to that position. Let's make that a little longer, and then let's scoot this in here, and let's blend that and see what it looks like now. Okay, so kick, and then when I blend, it slides back. Okay, so I don't want a magic slide back. I want the slide back to occur a little more naturally. All right, so I'm going to take all this. Once again, I like to bake to a new clip and delete. If you're more cautious, you could just bake it to a new clip, and then you could just take this and move it over here for safekeeping. Might be the better thing to do. And then again, I like to delete these tracks that it makes. Okay, so how in the world am I going to blend this so that it looks right? Well, I'm not going to get it just right. I'll do that in the fine-tune editing stage, but there are some things I can do here to make it my work a little easier. So I've got all the benefits of blending for these moves. And this one wasn't a hard blend for the kick itself because it came from the same move with the idle. But the hard part is, what am I going to do about this slide back? Okay, so I know I want it to end back in that same frame. So somewhere between here and there, I've got to move the character back there and not do it so it looks like he's defying the laws of physics. So I do see here that the character kind of jumps up a little bit. So I'm thinking that like maybe from here to there, I could have some of this motion where I want the character to slide back. Okay, so I'm going to select the hips. And then I'm going to select the clip, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to create an additive track. So now I have a layer. And if I expand it down, I've got the pelvis animation tracks here. Okay. So the first key, I'm just going to keep it where it's at. So I can do that by clicking 0. That sets a 0 key. So in other words, what 0 does is it retains the original information. Okay, now I'm going to want it to move back a little bit, somewhere between here and there. And so I'm going to put another 0 key here. So there's no net effect change other than I've just kind of anchored down where I want the 0 to happen. But right here, I could actually take this and move it a little bit. And then I could select this here, and then I could key that. Okay, so between here and there, I'm moving the character back a little bit, kind of sliding back, but the feet are at a place where, I can move them when I'm in fine tuning. Okay, so I got some of that moving back. I think I'm going to move it back even a little bit more. I'm going to key that again, and then I'm going to come in and get rid of that first set of keys I did. And I can maybe take these 0 keys and just push them that way a little bit so the transition isn't so long, or so quick rather. Okay, so if I take the first, if I take the idle, this is where I want to wind up. If I come back here now, select on that and click on 0, that's going to make it blend back to where the original key was, so I don't want that. So let's take that. Let's take a pose from this. I know that's where I want to wind up. Let's open this back up. All right, so I'm going to key that. Okay, so I kept the animation as is from here. Middle mouse drag from here back to here. And if I middle mouse back, okay, so if I if I drag it forward, it's going to update, but if I middle mouse drag it, it's going to stay the same. So I'm going to copy that pose to the end of the clip, which is 82. Okay, so I don't need that. Okay, also at this frame, I could rotate it a little bit. Let's rekey that. Okay, so this is not perfect, but I've sort of got the character where I want to start and to end. So when I'm doing the actual animation, somewhere here, I'll lock the feet down, and this is just kind of helping to move the root where it needs to go. It's not perfect. There's other things that I could do to it, but that's just kind of the gist of layers. So let's take this, bake to a new clip and delete. Okay. So this is essentially what we're aiming for. So I've got an idle to punch, and back to idle. I've got the idle, and then a kick back to idle.